Alright. Welcome back, everybody. I'm a little late. Sorry about that. Stuffing a healthy taco in my face to catch up on lunch. So you get some sweet ASMR. And or disturbing mouth sounds. However you look at it. But welcome back. It's Friday. It's the viewer suggestion day. Oh, it's been a week. It has been a week. But we are back. We got some interesting ones today. I'm kind of excited. News first. See if we got any new clerics. New clerics. Sorry, I was reading and talking at the same time. See if we got any new suggestions. Looks like we got a cleric on there. And a wizard. We will add those to the list. And we'll go from there. And then we'll start drawing some rugbies. Ooh. I keep getting a warning that my bitrate is too low, but then it says it's fine. So, hopefully that was just starting up. We'll see. I didn't start streaming on Twitch. Do I care today? I think I do. I think I want to keep streaming on Twitch. We'll do that. Start up Twitch. We'll see if it can run, because yesterday it kind of broke. But we'll go from there. What else we got going on? Ooh, my mic is spicy today. Hold on. Diet Steve, welcome in. How's that? It's better. There's something broken with my mic, so I'm gonna have to swap out some cables and see what happens tonight. I keep saying I'm gonna do it, and I keep running out of time. But welcome back. Welcome back, welcome in. Let me get Twitch open here. And then we will we'll start drawing some rugbies. Okay. We got our list set up. We got Aggie set up. We got Twitch set up. Let's go. How's everybody's week going so far? Hope it's been going well. We're gonna do some experimental rugby shapes today and see what happens. Losing my mind, apparently. I've been making a lot of kind of DM advice YouTube shorts, and they've been going pretty well. I don't know if it's the same audience as the live streams. I don't think it is. But if you are on the live streams, let me know what you think. Are you enjoying these shorts content? Do you hate shorts just in general? Do you like shorts in general? I would love feedback. On that note, I think this is the last stream of the month. No, we'll have one more. We'll have one more. And then next month I want to kind of start, I want to try something else. I might start working on trying to get back to the coloring book. I have quite a few of those done, but I just haven't had time to work on it. Been good, been getting pushed to me a lot lately. Good. They're good. Got it. I want to keep making why you should play videos, but there's just a bigger project and there's so many little things I've been having to work on recently. I have one in the works that I was hoping to try to get done this week, but I have the script done and the art done. So now it's just a matter of actually compiling the whole video together. Which sometimes takes, a day, and sometimes it takes a week. So we'll see how it goes. I think I'll get another short out this weekend, and then I'll try to get that video out next week. No problem, Bri. To me, shorts are like commercials for products I like. Not why I'm watching, but a nice break between shows. Okay, I can get that. Yeah, like a lot of the times when I make the shorts, I have a lot more stuff. It's like, man, I could turn this into a whole long video. But that's another video to edit, Okay. Taco done. Back to art. I was watching a little video by Loish, who is one of my I guess I'd say one of my favorite artists. I've probably bought the most most Kickstarter stuff of hers compared to anybody else. But she was talking about running a store, running like an art store, or as an artist, running a store as an artist. And it was kind of interesting because she was talking about how putting up stuff for sale, and it's like, I don't know how to sell dumb rugby sketches. Maybe that's what I'm missing. I'll toss in a suggestion for this week. Summer Eldrin Path of the Giant Barbarian. Ooh, okay. Wielding massive greatswords. Plays the handpan? What is a handpan? Is it like a tiny drum?
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Welcome in, Atomic. It is on the list. There we go. A demonic plasmoid sorcerer with a tiefling skeleton. I dig it. I dig it. I'll put it on the list. Oh, there we go. How does one sell a tiny goblin? That sounds inappropriate. Stickers? I think stickers is still funny, but... I would love to be like a busker on a boardwalk, just drawing rugby. People ask for a caricature and it's just rugby every time. Like, what is happening? Would you say the draconic or dragonborn characters that is a Drake Warden, Ranger, Draconic Blow, and Sorcerer is too much of a dragon theme? No, I think that's good. I think that's pretty solid. Yeah. Like, it's a lot of dragon, but a Draconic Sorcerer that has like flame breaths and stuff. I mean, that's just... That's like a... I think it would be more weird if it was like a bard. A dragonborn bard that just was really dragon themed. I think that would be weirder than a Drake Warden. Because at least a Drake Warden, it's like... It's essentially like a human with a bear pet. Or like a chimp. I think both of those are valid. They're just kind of It's kind of weird, stacked on top of each other. Man, a gorilla ranger would be really funny. I remember in World of Warcraft, one of my rangers had a gorilla as one of its pets, and it could throw a barrel like Donkey Kong. That was really funny. I would totally allow that in a D&D game. Okay, I think I've drawn enough rugbies. Enough silly rugbies for the day, anyways. He needs a feather. Give him a big old feather. Somebody flagged my last video for inappropriate content. Well, I think it was YouTube. YouTube flagged it. It wasn't like a person. I thought that was really funny. I was trying to figure out what I did last time that made it inappropriate. I'm like, I wonder if it's just like weird dong-shaped things that happen as we draw. You'd actually go to one of my settings and draw out every race. That could take a while. Yeah. A handpan is like a steel drum, but you essentially two hawks melded together. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Gorilla lore bard. The guy from what was the guy's name from Tarzan? I can't remember. Jane's father. Okay, I think we're ready. Let me set up the poll for color. Canyon, hello. I need you to draw Jake the dog from Adventure Time. Nope. Unfortunately, the rules that are listed on YouTube, no fan art. So I do apologize for that. But if you have a D&D character that's a magical dog, we can kind of figure that out. But it might not look like Jake the dog. The guy from Tarzan. Do you mean Tarzan? No. No, I don't mean Tarzan. I mean the professor that... I think it's Jane's father, right? Is it her father or grandfather? I don't remember. Oops. Hold on a second. Everything got closed up here. There we go. No, not Jane. The other guy. Not the gorillas either. Oh, I need to roll. I was like, what am I trying to roll here? Not Clayton, but the scientist. Yes, I think we've now gone through everybody that's not the person I'm talking about. Is he an archaeologist? I guess he's an archaeologist. I thought he was a biologist. Because he went there to study gorillas, didn't he? Like, I thought that was his whole jam. Rolled a 13. The dice gods have decided. A male Aarakocra, blue jay markings, College of the Lore Bard. College of Lore Bard. Do College of Lore Bards, do they do performances? I don't know what blue jays look like. I think that's right. Oh, wow. They are way poofier than I thought. I would have been drawing a cardinal. Professor Archimedes Q. Porter. Okay, that sounds right. Thank you, Bri. He's a lore bard. I want to give him like Big old poofy robes. The lore librarian. Do something like that. I want to give everything like a nice collar, but I think collars don't really exist. I think they're fake. I think collars just don't exist on things. It's like a scrunched robe or something. This guy's basically wearing a bathrobe now, is what I've done. Little old man from the Disney movie? Yeah. Naturalist studying gorillas. Yeah. Yeah, Brian got it in Discord. Archimedes Q Porter. Apparently the original story is Clayton was Tarzan's surname too, in a twist of irony. That was his cousin. Interesting. Collars don't exist? Like, shirt collars and lapels, I guess. I try to put them on everything. But like most things don't have them. Like most things are just shirts, especially if you want like a robe. I feel like it is kind of like a reinforced lapel, but like no actual collar. I try to turn everybody into a pirate or a gunslinger. I kind of want to just make this a bird. Should be paired with a stovepipe hat. The bird should? Or if I put a collar on him. Either way works, I guess. Oh my gosh, okay, hold on. Someone's messaging me here. Jane is also from Baltimore. And Tarzan is very English. Interesting. How's the stream going so far? Pretty good. We're working on a bird. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're back. A tall crest wouldn't easily support wearing a top hat. Nah, I don't think so either. Does anybody know what... I've never played a lore bard. Do they get a performance? Or do they forego that for more skill check stuff? Do they tell stories? Is it an oration?
Hello?
What up?
Hey,
Welcome in. How are you today?
I am alright. Came to inform you about lore bards.
Perfect.
They're just bards.
Just regular bards.
Think generic bard that is a lore bard.
Because I feel like all bards are lore bards. Like theoretically, because that's their whole job. Their whole job is to just know and write lore.
The lore bard is a more castery bard.
Yeah.
So they get like magical secrets early.
Okay.
So most bards get like 2 or 3 magical secrets. I think lore bards either get 3 or 4 of them.
You love the men's business.
They're also like
1930. Sorry.
They also have like counter song as a feat. I think maybe that's all bards.
I think all bards get that. At least they do in Pathfinder, like, which helps people.
Cutting words. That's what it is.
Cutting words, good. Yeah, I like counter song. It just doesn't come up very often because it's like, how often are you getting hit with a, spell that requires you to hear it? It does happen. It does happen, but I think it's forgotten a lot. At least it has in my experience. Like harpies and succubus. That's about it.
College of Lore. Yeah, so at their 3rd level feat, so they get bonus proficiencies when they take the College of Lore. So they get 3 more proficiencies and skills. They get cutting words.
Do bards in 5th edition not get the like you're good at everything?
I mean, they do, but
okay.
It's you add like half your proficiency.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's like you're a jack of all trades, so you're not really a master of everything, but you're good enough that you can add half your proficiency to rolls and stuff like that.
Cutting words is an offensive USW of bardic inspiration. Oh, offensive use. Yeah. Jack of all trades, kind of. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same. I like that aspect of it, like the bardic knowledge that gives you what you were saying, half your proficiency and everything. Mm-hmm. And so it always seemed weird to me because like usually by the time I get that, I have all of the proficiencies anyways that I would ever use. And so it's like really rare that I would need to, but I have done it. I have used it in the past, which is still good. I'm gonna sing myself a song to make myself jump better. Which I want to poke fun at that, but it's just so good. It's like telling someone a story about how Hercules jumped over a cliff inspires them to jump over the cliff better. Yes.
So it looks like normally, if you're not a College of Lore bard, you only get 2 magical secrets.
Okay. Those are just like class feats, right? Class specific abilities.
Magical secrets is basically allows you to take a spell from any spell list.
Gotcha.
And add to yours.
That's cool.
And the lore bard gets it the earliest at 6th level. The lore bard is what Scanlan was.
Okay.
So it's like the champion for fighters, but for bards. It's the basic like bard squared.
Super bards. I really love the concept of like the supporty bard. And I just never ever really got a chance to play it. So many things I want to play. The investigator actually started turning into a little bit of a bard, which is kind of cool. Did not expect that.
besides the lore bard, and what are the other colleges? There's a few different colleges that could definitely be pretty sporty.
I always fall back to the sword bard. Because I keep trying to make a juggler. Which is fun. It's a fun build. All bards having college degrees is the biggest fantasy in all of D&D. No wonder they're all poor. Yeah. Lord Bard is a master of bardic inspiration. Interesting.
Yeah, they get a lot.
It's an interesting way to look
I
at
mean,
it.
not a lot of stuff, but they get stuff later on that kind of buffs their bardic inspiration.
Gives it a boost.
Yeah. I say like College of Creation could be a really good support bard. Like just creating things that people need on short notice.
Maybe. I mean, like, I totally get what you're saying. Artificers aren't good support, so I don't know why a bard would.
Well, College of Creation, you're better than Artificer. You
Okay.
just magically create something of a certain value. Boom, there it is.
All right, that's cool.
Yep. So, like, eventually you can literally just make a boat
That could be
out
fun.
of magic. So,
Old school wizard style. What's that? We need a boat? I have a boat. You need horses? I have horses. It's all magic. It's great.
and like the College of Valor is kind of like the paladin of the bards.
The paladin bard.
Yeah. You get like combat inspiration where you can use your inspiration die to add to damage rolls.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, doesn't the College of Sword do that too?
No. They use their bardic inspiration for flourishes, which theoretically I think can add damage to an attack.
Yeah. I vaguely remember
But
that.
I think it's more like selfish.
Oh, yeah, you can add it to your own attack. That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because
No,
like
you can.
I think
Someone can use it on their own if you give them bardic inspiration.
okay, that's cool. I like that. Actually, I like that a lot. I might try that out. Because the thing I did with Shiva, which was my juggler, she was a knife juggler. Basically, every time I attacked, which is what I wanted to do with her, then I could use bardic inspiration to like move again or add damage to it, or there was some other things you could do, which is kind of cool. But yeah, Valor might be better. College of Creation is very abusable. Combine it with Artificer, Armor, or Forge Cleric for scary good stuff. Interesting. I think I'm done with this guy. I think this is a good one. This is a fun little startup sketch here. Little burb.
I'm personally a big fan of the College of Eloquence bard, but I imagine some DMs would have issues with them.
I remember you talking to me about that, and I don't remember what was weird about them.
So they get
They're like spies, right?
expertise.
Okay.
No, so that's more of a College of Whispers.
I was thinking of
College
Whispers.
of Eloquence is you get Lord. Basically, when you roll a charisma check for persuasion, deception, or persuasion or deception, you treat a D20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can't load, and that's your third level feature.
It's like the rogue assurance thing.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and like
Bird bark.
you eventually can just like naturally speak with all things that can like are smart enough to like understand communication. You just never need to the spell tongues ever again.
Gotcha. That's something I was looking at with the psychopomps. A whole bunch of them have tongues as like a daily use spell, and I'm like, that makes so much sense. that if you are like a guide of the dead, you'd have to be able to speak every language, and so it doesn't make sense to not have that. So I like that. I like that aspect of the. Got to think about that kind of stuff.
They also get unsettling words where you can use one of your bardic inspiration die and like roll it and subtract it from its saving throw, from its next saving throw.
Ouch. That's really powerful.
I mean, it starts out only at D6.
Still, I mean, like,
Yeah.
just if that was instead changed to add a +2 to your spell DC, like, that's super powerful. Which is essentially what that is. It's a minimum 1, an average of, like, what, 3.5?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's super good. Okay. There's my Blue Jade Burb. Let's move on to the next one. Moving on. 8.
So it has to be a
drew
saving
that
throw
one.
that makes before the start of your next turn. So,
That's a bummer. I don't like it when they do that. But I
mind you, this is a third level feat, or not feat, but like third level feature of the bard. So they didn't want to make it too good.
yeah. There's a couple things that, like, that was part of the reason that, like, Smite is so good, is because it's reactionary, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
yeah.
I will say it is also a bonus action to use that. So bonus action, then cast a saving throw spell.
Weird.
Kind of ensure they fail it.
Yeah, that is very strange. Duragar Forge Cleric that is turning himself into a Warforged.
That's kind of a thing that they do, actually.
Mm-hmm. I dig it. What color are we doing here? Green. Oh no, why green? Why did I write green on there? That's my bad.
I also like their 6th level feature is when you give someone Bardic Inspiration, and if they roll it for a ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll still fails, they don't expend that die of inspiration.
That's good. See, that's kind of what I was getting at. It's like, stuff where things just fizzle is not fun. And, like, counterspell is not fun. It is fun for the players, but, like, for the DM to use counterspell, especially if they use a lot, it's not fun. And I'm totally fine with this. If the spell gets countered, it doesn't fizzle. It just doesn't go. It just doesn't start. But that does. So it's you still lose an action, which I think is fair, but you don't lose the spell itself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a home rule thing that I do, because I know how much it sucks to have, like, what if your turn just no, yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
It's like, cool.
Though I'll say I'm not the biggest fan of like how counterspell works in 2e. It's very weird. I don't fully understand it.
If I remember right, like, you have to have the spell either prepared or, like, plausible that you can cast it. Is that right? Yeah.
And then it's just like you have to roll for a identifying, like,
Yeah.
roll Arcana or whatever your main casting stat thing is.
And I think you have
And
to
then-
cast, like, a counter spell to it, like an actual, like, you can use a spell that is opposite it. Is that what it is?
I wish I knew it. I tried looking into it, and it's just like my brain turned to mush.
Yeah, it used to be really weird. In Pathfinder 1, you essentially had to have the spell prepared. So you could roll to identify, like, what spell are they casting? Okay, cool. I have that prepared. I'm going to use my cast of it to cancel it out. And it's like, that's kind of neat, but, like, it just never happened. It was so rare that it actually happened.
Yeah.
Finally good news for the first time in a while. Oh, that's good to hear. The Plane of Esper and Magic the Gathering. Yeah. Near and Phyrexia is pretty weird.
I know there's a weird like counterspell thing for the Rune Mate or Rune Lord archetype in 2e,
Okay.
where like you can counterspell any spell of your school, even if it's not on your list.
Interesting.
So like if someone tries to hit you with an illusion spell, and you're an illusion rune lord, you have the chance to like counteract it.
I really like that, because like if the game was a lot more based around not even just schools of magic, but like types of schools of magic. Like if you could go just pure pyromancer and you could only cast fire spells, why would you ever take damage from fire spells? Just negate it, have resistance to it. Like, I think that makes so much more sense. But
Yeah, that's kind of like what the elemental adept does. I
Yeah.
think it gives you resistance and buffs your chosen element.
I think so. I believe you are right. And like, I'm fine with that. The resistances are good. But yeah, you should be able to, if you're a master of a certain type of magic, you should be able to just slap that magic out of the air. Like whenever you see it. It's just like, how dare you? How dare you try to use that against me? And I would be, yeah, I would be fine with dragons doing that too. It's just like, oh, you're a fire dragon? Yeah, you just eat fire magic when people try to cast it. It's just like, no.
Aren't they immune to fire?
Usually they're immune, but I mean, like, I would give them like a counter spell. Like if someone tried to cast like a fireball near them, it's just like, no, they just eat it. They eat the fireball.
No.
Just no.
It reminds me of that stupid little scene. I don't even know what it's from, but it's Christopher Walken. He's in the desert, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, but I don't care.
I don't want to.
Dragon
But I have a gun. I don't care.
just a dragon doing that. It's like, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel about legendary actions, like legendary
Yeah.
resistances.
That's fair. And like once again, like that's on the edge of being frustrating for me. Like, because then it just becomes a gamification. It's like, okay, we need to try to trick them into using their legendary actions twice before we can cast a spell. It's just like, so you're making spells cost more. Just why? Like,
Yeah.
I don't like that kind of stuff. I think there are more interesting ways to get around it. But
Like, I don't mind it for certain things, like, because like if I was the DM and like, I don't know, someone dominates monster on my big bad dragon or whatever, and God forbid it actually fails its saving throw and like it's dominated, and it's like, well, so I get it for like certain instances like that, but it's just like, I feel like sometimes maybe people get too trigger happy with them.
maybe. I think it also, if you have a lot of characters that go in just like blaster caster style, like, okay, we're going to hit them really hard once, it makes sense to have that, because then it basically stops you from just insta-nuking bosses. I think that was their intent. But I would be fine with things like, if they do get dominated, it's like, cool, on their turn, because they are a legendary creature, they get to try to save again for things. And so like, it would just make things a little less effective, while not making them essentially like choicefully immune to certain things. So
Yeah.
But I really think that is what it is for. Is like, so the DM has a counter nuke buffer. Just like, we found one thing that's really good all the time. It's like, it's not going to work in the boss. It's like, okay. Which, and even in video games, like, yeah, bosses are just always immune to stun or always immune to certain crowd control. It's like, that makes sense, but it really depends on the game.
Yeah.
I'd give them a form of absorption instead of counter, so the fireball goes off and just strengthens the fire dragon. That could be cool too. I'd be alright with that. Borking oneself is always fun. We used to, when we were playing, oh, what was it? The hell is it called? UFO Defense. XCOM. When XCOM 2 came out, they had this function that you could turn people into cyborgs. And what we discovered was that if one of your team members got hurt really bad, they'd be out of commission for like months, which is like a couple fights. But if you wanted to turn somebody into a cyborg, it only took a week. So if you got somebody that came back and like all of their body was just mangled, it's like, well, we're gonna RoboCop you, and now you are a giant robot. Because it got really dark. But it was so much faster than healing people to just turn everybody into robots. And that's yeah. So now the term robocopping has become a thing in my lexicon because of that game.
RoboCop.
Yeah. Well, we're just gonna robocop you.
At least you're not like doing that one guy's death scene from RoboCop.
The guy that melts.
Well, he gets done through chemicals, then mutates, and it gets ran over and explodes.
Yeah. He's not mutating. He's melting.
Oh, okay.
It's
Looks like he's mutating.
It does. Yeah. Yeah, it does. There's a YouTube short out there. I can't remember what they were talking about, but it ended with remember that time that RoboCop shot that guy in the dick? And it's just like, yeah, that did happen. That did happen. Some weird stuff. Never shoot a guy in the dick, Butters. Oh, South Park. What have you done? Rules to live by.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, toxic waste. I would maybe remove that, Bri. That might not be appropriate. I mean, it's just CGI, which is great, but that might need to go in the not safe for work chat. I wish you could age restrict links. But I guess it makes more sense to have them in like an age restricted channel. But that would make way more sense. Sorry for your loss. That whole movie, I watched that movie when I was really young, and I was like, man, RoboCop's badass. And then I didn't realize that my dad would like pause the movie when it would get to a horrible scene, and he would like make us go get drinks or whatever, and then he would fast forward. So it wasn't until I was much later that I got to see the whole RoboCop scene, and I was just like, oh my god, this is way more gory than I remember. This said slowly turning himself, I think, into a... So maybe I shouldn't give him the full robotic body. But also... Meanwhile, I watched all of Starship Troopers, everything when I was like 8. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, bro. I watched... My sister, I have a sister who's older than me. She loved horror movies. And so when I was little, like little, she got me to watch all of these just like pretty tame movies. Like Gremlins, Tremors, like they're not really that bad. But at the age at which I watched them, it broke me a little bit. Like I remember being terrified of the ground for a while.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Just like, well, we're gonna get eaten. We're all gonna get eaten by giant worms.
If only. I think the only part of Tremors that I ever was like got scared of weirdly was in the second one, where they're camping out on the rock and the coyotes howling. I don't know, that kind of scared me.
I have one of my friends' kids. We were watching Spirited Away, and he got it in his head that if you went out to a restaurant to eat, you got turned into a pig. And he was terrified of it. I was like, that is amazing, and also I'm so sorry. Vagafond, welcome in.
That's pretty funny.
It is pretty great. Yeah. I love to remind people that Kevin Bacon's in the first Tremors movie. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He said in an interview, like, the only reason he took it on is because he needed to pay rent bad. He didn't think it was going to, like, go over well.
I mean, Reba McEntire is also in there, so like,
Yeah,
they got some good people to do some stuff. It was great. Something Wicked This Way Comes gave me nightmares about carnivals into adulthood. I could see that. I also remember like watching Aliens when I was really young, and then every time I got a stomachache, I thought I was going to explode into an alien. Or not, it wasn't Aliens. I did watch Aliens at a young age, but I think it was actually Spaceballs. Spaceballs, maybe. Because that was the... I probably got to watch that whole scene. Slapstick insult comic is the only way I can lay it. Only way you can say it. The slapstick incult comic bard. That could be pretty good. We're just gonna RoboCop this whole guy. He's gonna have just cybernetic muscles. I guess I could give him one regular arm.
give him the Full Metal Alchemist treatment.
Mm-hmm. Is that the Killer Space Clowns or whatever it was called? Killer Clowns from Space?
More reason to dislike clowns.
Mm-hmm. I just remember small details that I love in Full Metal Alchemist, but it's spoilers. I don't know if I can share that openly. I think so. Yeah, I mean, Full Metal Alchemist came out, what, 15 years ago? Maybe longer than that.
Well, the first one definitely did.
Yeah.
I think.
Brotherhood came out in 2008, 2009, I think.
Yeah, or something along those lines. Yeah.
Late stage boring? What does that mean? Gee, welcome in. Brother has more stone muscles than the Rock. He's trying to turn himself into a warforged, so he should be, yeah, he shouldn't be made out of some hard surfaces. I'm gonna get rid of this one. Just give him a regular arm. I'll get his arm. They're frail and emaciated, like they've not been able to use it fed in years. Yeah, I remember them talking about that. That was pretty great. I also thought it was funny that like even when Ed gets his arm back, it's like got pieces of metal stuck in it. It's like, oh, that sucks. Welcome in, G, by the way. Chiseled and forged to perfection. He's literally a bodybuilder. Yeah, I guess so. Fair enough. I remember I used to work out a lot. I used to be somewhat of a bodybuilder, I guess. But I think that was my hobby, was going to the gym for a long time. Porcupine sauce, hello. What a strong looking guy. Yeah, he's a Duergar that is turning himself into a Warforged. But I remember watching this video talking about body modification. And they included bodybuilding as a type of body modification. And I remember it made some of my friends at the gym really mad because they were like, "I don't want to be clumped in with those guys." I'm like, "What guys? The people with tattoos and piercings?" And it was like, most of the people here have tattoos and piercings. And it was interesting to think about that, of like what kind of different subcultures think about themselves in comparison to other subcultures. And I assume there was a lot of that with like the punk movement and like emo movement. It's like, yo, we're punks. It's like, you're not punks. Get out of here. I remember being upset about that too. But it's like, no, it's all the same. How do you manage to display both YouTube and Twitch chat? I think it's part of Restream. Yeah, so I'm actually streaming Restream's chat, which is both. I feel like I didn't make this guy beefy enough. Which is fine, I guess. I mean, like, I don't know if people have watched Cyberpunk Edge Runner? Is this called Edge Runner? I think it is. It's kind of interesting seeing the main character's body structure change throughout the series. Because it's like, yeah, if your body is cybernetic, like, how muscular do you want to look versus actually are? It's kind of an interesting thing to think about. YouTube keeps sending me like clips from Alita Battle Angel. I'm like, man, I want to watch that again. It's got some really cool robots. Love me some good robots. I had a little too much fun with Hero Forge. Use it to basically 3D model some of my drawings. Yeah. It is a good use of it. I think I'm about done with this bad boy. I think it's time to move on to the next one. should give him a few more hoses. I feel like this guy would have his ears pierced, right? More metal all the time. Non-stop more metal. That is something that I feel like kind of gets missed out on dwarves a lot. It's just like over excessive jewelry everywhere. Paul numeric? Oh, I don't get that atomic. What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, let's move on to the next one. What is our color for the next image? A purple. Purple? A goth-style wasp. I don't know what that means. Like a goth style, comma wasp? Or is there a goth wasp? Doesn't matter, I guess. We'll look into it. Thri-kreen rogue, antennas brushed to one side, wielding a spine whip and a shield. So considering that the antennas are brushed to one side, I assume they mean like goth kid style.
Aesthetically.
Goth. Yeah. Let's start this back up again. Purple. Okay. Thri-kreen rogue. Emo kid. Thri-kreen is a wasp. Thri-kreen wasp. Emo kid. We can do this. Here we go. There are some things that I think are funny. Like I want to break down the whole antennas to the side thing. That is, as a gag, great. Like, you say that to the party and it's like, haha, that's funny. But when you try to draw that, I think something might be lost. Why do the antennas do that? So that is always the struggle. Do I commit to the bit, or do I make the antennas look cool? And not that it makes it looks dumb because they're on the side. It's just I don't know if I can draw that and not make it look dumb. Trying to make a pun on the guy that makes the salad dressings and pneumatics. Paul Newman? Paul Pneumatic? Why? But why, though? Paul Newman was a singer, right? Before he made salad dressing?
I wish I knew.
I think he's a singer. And then he invested in a salad dressing company. And now he's retired. Because that's how you do it. Step 1, get rich. Step 2, remain rich.
And or just get rich friends who donate stuff to you.
I need a healing.
That could be part 1. That could be how you get rich. Can't account for my own compulsions. Fair enough. Thank you, Porcupine Sauce. I do need the water. Paul Newman was an actor. Thank you, Diet Steve. All right, how are we going to do this? So the antennas start here and here. They don't really bend, though. Do I do this? Maybe I do this? It just looks weird.
Especially with wasps, they're not super long antennas either.
Yeah. Maybe Maybe we do just commit to the bit. And just do this.
Like butterfly antennas.
Yeah.
Pretty long.
Like make them a little more goth kid antenna. Just make it look like hair. It looks like something's wrapped around his head. Full droopy dog emo. Don't be a rich ass that has delusional views of yourself. I mean, yeah, that's good. That's good advice.
But they all do.
Actor Cool Hand Luke, one of the best movies. He passed away a few years ago. It used to be called Old Blue Eyes. Oh, interesting. I think that's as good as we're going to get. Now, I gotta give him eyeshadow.
You must commit to the bit.
What else? What else emo stuff can we do to this? This Thry-Green.
I don't know. Spike got a dog collar.
Can do that. I was definitely closer to the emo kids and the goth kids than anything else.
And yet you still judged them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who needs enemies when you have Rick as a friend?
I went to
Kidding, of course.
I went to a mall recently, which I've not been to in a long time. And there was a Hot Topic, and Jump Rope's like, "Yeah, I'm not going in there." And I was like, "What? Come on!" I used to go into Hot Topic all the time. Jimmy Eat World T-shirts, hell yeah! I love Jimmy Eat World. Malls survived COVID? Barely. Barely they did. We need like Jinko jeans is what we need.
That was what my friend called trip jeans.
Were they super baggy and had belts on them?
So apparently, trip jeans are that, but not baggy. They had belts and everything, but I think they were more or less normal jeans. I could be wrong. I know my friend called these pair of jeans like trip jeans that had like, well, it looked like suspenders just
Like
sewn onto them.
Yeah. Are you tripping balls or because they make you trip?
I don't know. I never asked for clarification on why. I probably should have. I was just like, okay.
What was this supposed to be? I got really distracted.
A
Rogue.
goth
It's a
wasp.
rogue. Wielding a
spiked
Yeah.
whip.
Okay, we're not going to commit to the bit that hard with the Jinko jeans. We're going to make it look like a rogue. Did you start watching the Zorro show yet?
I have not.
Remember when I said it felt like a soap opera?
Soap opera?
Or like a telenovela? They've introduced their first evil twin.
Yes.
And I was just like,
Yes.
I was like, all right, I understand this show now.
I will watch
I
it
know what's going
for
on.
irony's sake.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's bad. Like, if that makes sense.
I totally know.
It's bad, and I'm gonna keep watching it. Trip made both skinny and baggy jeans. Oh, so it's a type of jean. Okay. So they did
like
have
a
a
brand.
lot of straps and dangly bits. I still have a few pairs. Nice.
Trip is a brand. Okay.
Okay.
Like how everyone calls Converse any shoe that looks like a Converse shoe, Converse.
I mean, Converse created the first sneaker. Like that was that's the weirdness about it. But yeah, there are Converse style like canvas shoes now, I guess. What else would you call them? Because like you can have boat shoes that are made out of canvas and rubber, like very similar. But if they don't lace up, like they're not high top, lace up high tops.
Or if they don't have like the plastic toe, like plastic rubber toe over them.
Okay, see that? Yeah, I guess you can have boat shoes without that. You're right. So it's like, I don't know if I've ever seen a shoe that is like the I've never seen a Converse like knockoff. I don't think with Chuck Taylor All Stars, but that's the only type I ever bought. So who knows? Jinko Jeans versions look like Beedrill mixed with a Gravidor. I don't know what that one is. Is that another Pokemon? Is it on Telemundo? I don't know. Everything I read online says it was made by Fox, but when you watch it, it says it's an Apple original. So it's like, I don't know if I'm watching a weird, like, pirated copy of it or something.
I think you're mixing up your shows.
Maybe I am. Maybe
you said that about Monarch, yes.
Maybe Monarch was... oh, you're right. No, you're right. Maybe Monarch was owned by Fox, and this is an Apple original. That would make more sense. I started watching too many different shows. I think it's my problem.
Because Zur was on Prime. Which,
yeah.
if it was an Apple, it would not be on Prime. It would be on their own streaming service.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of Monarch. So I don't know.
Because I looked it up yesterday, and it is like a Prime original.
Okay. I don't know if wasps could walk. I don't know if they can bend the right way. Speaking of needing rich friends, do you think I could convince the government to give me like money to buy land and do stuff with it? Can I still become a farmer somewhere? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Just need to find some people that want to be blacksmiths or something, and then the hornet hole. YouTube sent me one of those. Send me like, would you do this for $1 million? And it was the people that put like the bullet ants in the nets and then stick their hands in them. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, people do that for free. Like, why would anybody pay you $1 million to do that? Stop it. Stop it, YouTube. You're missing the point.
There are people who literally go out to anthills and grab the, cause them to swarm out just to eat them.
Yeah.
And they do it for free.
Would you get paid $1 million to have a good dinner? Yes?
Stop it.
Get some help, YouTube. This reminded me of the Killer Bee magic card. But that's okay. I believe you can still wild claim land in Alaska. Oh, I gotta move to Alaska and fight the Russians. Figure out how much it would cost to buy a house, wild claim some land, spend all that money on getting fiber optic cable out there. That's what I gotta do.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I think it can't be done. Just that it might be a bit rough.
I don't think the Homesteading Act is still active. I don't think it is either. Da, do, da, 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 da. What would I do with a bunch of land? Not be near people. What's the plan?
What?
Just not be near people. That's my whole plan. Buy a lot of land, don't be near people. Start a skate park. Out in the middle of nowhere. What's up?
No, I was just thinking what I would do. I mean, I've been to a lot of places, at least on the kind of East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would want to live, maybe in North Carolina. Like, it's a pretty nice place.
It would be really cool to me to have like a pottery or glass blowing thing. That's pretty common around here. I mean, I say that there's some touristy places that you can that happens, and it's like there's definitely a market for that in those areas, but like I don't think it would work just out in the middle of nowhere. But it could.
It would cost you more just to get all the resources shipped there.
Yeah. That's the big problem of it. It's like, what are you doing and what's nearby that you can get resources for?
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't think I would ever want to live like super far away from like
civilization.
Oh yeah, I'm super spoiled now. Like, living near Seattle, it's like I can get pretty much anything really quick. Except away from people. I'm always stuck near people. But I can get things delivered next day delivery from Amazon. Pretty great. Okay, I think I'm done with this one. Let's move on to the next one. A male deer satyr ranger with freckles. Deers have freckles? You're covered in fur, aren't you? I guess if you're a satyr.
I'm gonna say, you're forgetting the fact that satyrs do have human faces.
Yeah, you're right. Long, unruly hair and amber crystals in their legs. That seems painful.
I dig it.
It's a cool idea. Yeah, right? Who wants crystals in their legs? What color are we doing here? Red. Red should work for that. Was that supposed to be green and I drew it in purple? No, green was the other one. We're good. We've been getting a lot more suggestions, but I feel like we've been getting a lot fewer viewers. I don't know if I need to start streaming later. I talked to people about that a while ago, but it just feels weird not to be streaming at 11. So maybe I should, maybe Friday streams we should do from like noon to 4 or something.
I was gonna say, you do have a large viewership that's not on the West Coast, though.
That's true.
So, like, people who are, when you do stream, it is kind of like late in the evening. Not evening, but afternoon.
Yeah, what is the good, when do people actually want to watch live streams? I think when we started this, there was a lot of people like hanging out at work.
Mm-hmm. And then there was the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
Which
Everyone was
basically
just
meant
at home.
everyone was home.
Mm-hmm. It always blows my mind when I go and look at other artists' Twitch streams and they have like 70 or 80 people in there, and it's just like, whoa, what? People like art. What can I do different? I'm in Ohio, so it's 340, 350 here. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Europe and Denmark. All right, fair enough. East Coast. I know when we used to stream, it was really funny because like Jonas would be like, "Oh yeah, it's midnight here." It's just like, "Why are you awake? What are you doing?"
Jonas is young, and young people stay up later.
That's true.
There's a youngin'.
I want to show off the legs because crystals, but that means I got to draw smaller. Little goat feet.
Little horns, little goatee.
Yep. The next Final Fantasy expansion, not expansion, but update? Whatever you want to call it. Is going to have a whole bunch of older stuff that I want to get, so I'm going to have to play a bunch. Moogles! It's 22 p.m. at the moment. Yep, there you go.
11? Around midnight?
10 o'clock.
Oh.
What would put amber crystals in your legs? Like, to what is this actually referring to?
You know, that was cool.
I mean, it definitely sounds cool. But, like...
Rune Lords embed iron stones into their skin.
Okay, that's one way to look at it. He does need a beard, doesn't he? Especially if he's got wild hair.
I hate to be this person. Does Ember strictly count as a crystal? Because it's from formed from a living thing?
No. Well, I mean, it's technically a crystalline structure. I don't think it's terminology, right? Like that's what we're arguing here. It's like the terminology for it, because it counts as a precious stone. But does it is it gemstones or is it not a gemstone, but it is a crystal? That's a good question. We should look that up. Amber is a crystal. It's fossilized tree sap. Okay. Is it fossilized or is it just cured? Because tree sap is essentially a resin. So it's just it's a cured resin. And fossilization is its own separate thing.
Because opal is also formed from trees. I think it's like petrified wood.
Like Heather and Mother of Pearl are also counted in there. Like pearls are the same thing. Like pearls are not stones. They're technically stones, but they're
kidney stones.
Yeah. It is in fact fossilized. Interesting. Someone who wants to cut themselves every step. Oh no. We're still in... That's an old bad joke. I should make that joke.
Yeah, so amber is fossilized tree resin.
Fossilized tree resin, alright. What is the definition of fossilized then? Because I thought fossilization was things being replaced.
A fossil is a preserved remains, impression, or trace of a once living thing from the past geological age. Examples include bone, shells, exoskeletons, stone imprints of animals, objects preserved in amber, hair. Okay. Petrified wood and DNA remnants.
Gotcha. So amber is the fossilization medium, but it's not. The amber itself isn't actually the fossil. But I guess it would be because it's alive. That's really weird.
Yeah, because it comes from. It is a remnant, preserved remnant from a previous age.
Okay.
So.
Looking for an antique glass bottle that looks like blank. This? No. This. This, then? No. So a modern bottle. Antique modern bottle. Antique porcelain? No glass. I feel like this is a conversation you might have had.
However, it doesn't. It says is presently presented as a gemstone, but gemstone is not a scientific category of materials.
That sounds more reminiscent of what I was thinking about. Like, because I think pearls, amber, and other things count as gemstones.
Yeah. Because, like, also not all amber is orange either. I do know this. Some amber is green, yellow, and even blue.
Interesting.
And like the blue is super rare. It's like the rarest kind. I think it only comes from the Dominican Republic.
Interesting.
And probably also Haiti. As they share the island.
I like some of the things I've done here, and I hate most of this. So I'm gonna try that again.
Apparently, amber that occurs in coal seams is referred to as resinite.
Interesting.
Because I never thought of, even though beginning of Jurassic Park, they're mining for amber in basically a coal mine, but my mind always thinks of like amber being picked up off beaches in Europe.
Interesting.
Yeah, so where the Baltic Sea in Europe, it used to be a low-lying woodland, and on big storms, or at least used to, I think it's probably lessened over the years, pieces of amber would get washed up on the shore because amber is really light.
Mm-hmm. Could you argue that they're minerals and not gems? We've had this argument before, Cosmic, about like what is a mineral versus a stone versus a rock. And I think what we came up with was like there are different classifications based on the thing you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Gemstone is definitely not an exact categorization, as there are things that are just like not all crystals are gemstones, but many crystals are gemstones.
Mm-hmm. Can't remember if we were making the argument that people were rocks. It might have been. It was based
like,
on a Hank Green thing.
Yeah. Basically, we were arguing is ice a mineral?
That's right. Is ice a mineral? That's what started it. I remember it right. Mineral super broad return. It's not a rock. It's organic. It's not more of a mineral than a tree stump is. Figured if it's produced by an organic being, it's a mineral, not a rock. Yeah, I don't know if that's correct. I also don't remember what we came up with, but it was one of those incendiary comments.
Yes. And I think we basically just like agreed just to stop talking about it.
Yeah. Either everything's a fish or nothing's a fish.
Yep.
Because I think it had something to do with... like temperature as well.
Yeah.
So like things can be classified as different, whether it's a mineral or not, depending on its origin. Of like if it's on a different planet, it's a different thing. It's like, oh boy.
So like,
Oh boy.
I think we were so, like the ice on Mars would technically probably by the definition that we found of mineral, anything that is a solid at base temperature or like at a room temperature or whatever, or ambient temperature that it was.
Yeah.
Counts as a mineral, and ice on Mars probably would be considered a mineral in that context, but not here.
Because also, like, yeah, ice being on in Antarctica, you could consider it a mineral. But then once you move to a different location, it stops being a mineral. It's like, okay, well, that's a stupid way to classify things. So, but it is just, it's just a thing about ease of classification. So that was something we had to deal with at the university a lot, because we were dealing with like computer scientists and like fish experts and bureaucrats and physicists and biologists, and it was like they all use similar terminology, but they all have different use cases and meanings for it. So you have to be really careful about your terms and defining them. It's a gemstone, like a pearl or opal is a gemstone. Yeah. Seals were a category of fish for part of the Middle Ages. Technically, yeah. I mean, like, there's a lot of things that are technically... Right now, what is it? Someone classified honeybees are fish now, I think.
I think in California.
Yeah, it's...
Because you cannot declare a insect a protected species. Like...
Yeah.
And so California labeled them as a fish. So they could protect our local populations. Which, I'm okay with that. Protect the honeybees, people. Without them, we die.
What's the point of language if you can't agree on what anything means? Language is constantly changing.
Yep.
It helps bring understanding.
Why language is a humanity and not a science.
I was watching, God, who is it? Is it Jack Draws? No. The guy that makes the little tiny, I
need more context.
The guy that makes the little cartoons with the little tiny mushroom people. Not mushroom people, marshmallow people. He was doing some, a little sketch about, Lethal Company? Yeah, Lethal Company. He's like, why are you trying to talk to this bug? Like, it has 80 neurons. Insects are stupid. You can't rationally talk to insects. Like, they don't have the capacity. It's like, why the fuck are we talking about neurons? It's like, because they're not intelligent. And it's like, it's fun. I don't know why that was funny. So that was a bad story.
I'm not even sure if insects actually feel pain.
Insects are all over the place. There are definitely some invertebrates that I think don't have pain sensors, but either way. I love how Rook just casually ignored my comment. Oh, I missed it. I completely missed it. I have to scroll up. Jet. Jet is a stone, but it's actually wood that's petrified underwater. Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, that wasn't casually. That was just me not seeing chat.
Yeah.
Did I
Also,
miss
comments
another?
will fill up and push up the chat.
You argue that minerals are not gems. Back to work, no problem. Thanks for hanging out. Laws aren't well written unless they're usefully ambiguous. You know.
I mean, laws kind of have to be ambiguous. We discussed this like a week ago or so. As much as we hate it.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff about laws. I have a few friends and family members that are lawyers, and it's just like I hate it. Like I am well versed enough to be able to have conversations with them about that kind of stuff. And it's just like the amount of intentional vaguity it just like drives me up the wall, especially when we're talking about like Twitch and Amazon, like big companies, like the way they word their disclaimers and stuff. It's like, man, that feels underhanded. Like, but it's technically not. It's just like, I don't like it. I don't like demon packs.
Yeah, it's that technically it's not illegal, but just feels really bad.
Diet Steve, I actually don't see anything about coconuts, so it might have gotten blooped out by YouTube. YouTube might have deleted it because I don't see anything about coconuts. I sadly need to be going soon. No problem, Alexander. Thanks for stopping by. Large indoor flea market. That sounds pretty awesome. Best of luck. Best of luck. Scumbag, welcome in. I don't know why I did the spears, but now I'm thinking of Ace Ventura. Who stuck these crystals in my leg? Ah! Ah! I feel like I need to make the nose a little different. What kind of nose should a satyr have? Should I do like the
Little deer nose.
little deer nose? What does a deer nose look like? Round? Square? Maybe square? What was the suggestion for? It kind of looks like Vivek from Morrowind. I think it was a satyr with crystals in its legs and fuzzy hair. It might not have been fuzzy. It might have been a little bit. Jesus, that's a great picture.
I don't want to like download the picture, so it's like I'll look for a GIF that's pretty standing still.
I was talking to some of my cousins, and somehow we got on the topic of like, deer are really stupid. It's just like, no, come on. It's like, no. Deer are just really stupid. It's like, huh.
Explain.
Oh, yeah. Like, compared to, like, cows and other large things, like moose, deer are just almost, like, rat level of intelligence. Like, smart enough to not instantly die, but, like, they're real dumb. They're real dumb. I shouldn't have said rats. Rats are really smart. But, like,
I was
vermin.
gonna say rats are like.
No, like, they're vermin levels of intelligent. It's just like, huh.
I don't know if I fully agree with that.
That's fine. Like, make me an argument. Tell me how deer aren't idiots. Not as a challenge. I'm just like, please do.
Well, I don't know if like, you never really say like why they are idiots in the first place, so I have nothing to base my argument off of.
I'm asking for anecdotal evidence that deer aren't stupid. Because I don't have I don't have any counterpoint to it.
Anecdotally, they know when deer season comes in because they all scatter to the four winds.
Okay.
Even when they change it, they somehow know when it happens.
They just know.
Yep. No one's gonna know.
They've evolved a... Yeah. How are they gonna know? Alright, I'm rolling dice. I'm done with this one. 17. Summer Eldrin, Path of the Giant Bard, Barbarian, who wields massive greatswords. I think that we got that one today, so that's good. Half plate and plays the handpan. Yeah. Okay. Path of the Giant Barbarian. I do like Summer Eldrins.
But deer could also maybe have gone the route of like pigeons, where they don't necessarily need to be super intelligent. They just breed really well.
Breed really well. We only see the really dumb ones doing dumb shit.
Maybe.
Like getting stuck in fences and stuff.
It's possibly because they just can't see the wire.
Yeah.
Because, like all ungulates, deers are colorblind. And if it's like thin enough wire, they're not gonna see it.
The deer in the headlight thing has always bothered me a little bit. Which is fair. Like, I mean, like...
I mean, you are blinding a deer.
Mm-hmm.
Like a sight animal. An animal that relies on both sight and hearing. So, it's gonna be stunned for a moment.
Oh, God! Oh, lordy. Can confer deer are dumb. Had one get smacked across the face by my dad's side view mirror. Oh, man. More than once, I've had friends driving back to Idaho and be like, "Oh, how was your trip back?" And I go, "Oh, I hit a deer." I was like, "What?"
Stop hitting the deer. Stop driving 90 miles an hour.
Idaho likes to put their roads next to like rivers, and so you'd be like, "Yeah, I'll just like." Yeah. It's like you cannot see anything driving McCall.
Also, they're next to rivers. Of course, you're gonna have like deer crossing there.
Challenge is not really an herbivore thing. Don't need to be smart to stalk a blade of grass. That's fair. Nope.
I would argue it's probably not more of an ungulate thing, because elephants are pretty intelligent.
That's true.
Elephants will always remember.
To kill.
What?
What's it? I think it's a Futurama joke. But it was an elephant never forgets to kill.
Oh. I just think of like all the various circus elephants who finally snap and like go after the people that hurt them the most. I was like,
Yeah. They remember. They remember your face.
Yeah.
Like there was one named Black Diamond, like back in the early 1900s. It saw its former trainer in like a crowd. It broke its chains and ran him over.
Just vendetta.
Yeah.
I'm too old for this shit.
It's like maybe we shouldn't be having like I don't know super intelligent animals do party tricks.
Yeah.
Had the horses do the tricks.
I mean, to be fair, old circuses didn't treat humans much better.
Yeah, I know.
So it is just kind of a maybe circuses shouldn't be shitty, but also yes, we shouldn't treat elephants shittily. We also had one spin in circles in the middle of the road for like 5 minutes because it couldn't figure out which direction it wanted to go. Yeah, I've seen that too. Apparently that's like there's a disease where deer are just like doing that right now.
Yeah.
It breaks their brain and they just spin.
Yeah,
Kinda
that
scary.
probably was a parasite or something like that.
But I have the one time I've been in a car when somebody hit a deer. The deer ran out in front of us. We started to stop. It then looked at us, freaked out, ran all the way across the road, and then so we're like, oh, okay, cool, we don't have to stop. Stopped, and then came back and jumped in front of the car and bounced off the hood. And it's just like, fuck you, deer. Like, get out. What are you doing? This could have been completely avoided. It was fine. It just got up and ran off. Like, it didn't, because we'd slowed down enough. But, like, there was no reason for that deer to hit the car. It's just like, what is wrong with you?
Well, panic. I'm really being a deer apologist today for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering about that. You seem very defensive about the deer. Which is fine. I'm open to it. I'm open to the deer not being stupid theory, but...
It isn't a wild animal, so it's like something rolls up, it can't really see what it is other than two giant eyes looking at it. It's probably gonna freak out.
Well, you'd think it would run away, though. Like,
The thing is, was there a fence on the other side?
no. Like, Idaho is really good about its roadways. It tries to keep everything, like, embanked and stuff with embankments. And usually pretty open and clean and, like, tons of room. So, like, when you're driving at night, like, you're this much of the road. And the deer's just like, ah, fuck! It's like, jumps into your car. But, like, so much so that, like, when I was growing up, it was very much, like, you need to put those little horns on your car to scare them off and, like, a whole bunch of other crap. And a lot of it is, like, you drive really fast. It's like, maybe slow down a little bit. But there's a lot of blind corners.
They're dumb.
Maybe.
I mean, that's the only... I mean, I know white-tailed deer are everywhere.
Like I said,
my only...
we only see the dumb ones. The smart ones don't stand on the road.
Yep.
Okay, he's supposed to be wearing smoldering plate. Smoldering half plate. I'm just imagining a deer
face.
bouncing off the railing like it was wrestling. Like a wrestling. Yeah. It wasn't really spinning, it just kept switching directions. Yeah, that's what I was talking about too. It's like, you made it. You're safe. And it's like, no, I think I should go back. It's like, don't do that. What are you doing? Get your shit together, dear.
The only thing I will say about deer is people need to be hunting them more because we don't have enough predators to take care of them.
Yeah. Check your local ordinances. Maybe take up hunting.
Like, if
even if you don't eat deer meat, I imagine you could sell it to like a local butcher.
What makes smoldering plate smoldering? Does it do anything besides smoke? What was it? It was an oversized something. Let me look at this. Massive greatsword. Okay. Plays the hand pan.
Sword sexiness.
I love the Buster Sword look. It's just so silly. And then there are moose. Yeah, moose are... They're just big. Like, they're big to the point where they just don't give a shit about anything.
They had the right of it.
Yeah. Like, I've walked up, smacked a moose on the ass, and just walked away, and it's like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. You're a tiny human. I could kill you. What was the best part of that camping trip? A random moose is just like, hey, I'm coming into your campsite to eat your shit. It's like, alright. Not gonna stop you.
Just don't step on my tent.
Yep. Bison elk also go. I have the right of way because bleep you. Yeah. I've been stuck in traffic for like an hour waiting for bison to get the hell out of the way. Like you can try to like slowly inch your car at them and just be like, get, and they're like, no, I'm not gonna do it. It's like you suck. Humans are as smart as they are because we lack the meaningful survival traits. Yeah. Check it out. I've created this whole subspecies of animals that have no survival skills. Excuse me? Yeah, it's really funny. How do they survive? Well, I had to make them really, really smart. And what does that do? Well, now they're all depressed, so it's fine. That's the trade-off. You take away all their survival skills until they can only survive by surviving everywhere. But it makes them really depressed. And thus pharmaceuticals were born. That's what we've evolved to.
I'll say we survived as long as we did because we stuck together in groups.
Yeah. No, social intelligence is, I think, probably one of the bigger defining factors for a lot of species, and we just aren't really good at it. I had one of those moments today at the store because the people in front of me didn't put everything in their cart on the belt, and I'm like, are they trying to steal that lunch meat? Like, what's the plan here? And then they walked up and they're like, we don't want this, and I was like, oh yeah, see, they had it under control. But it was just like, but that made me think of like we have a lot of weird social constructs, or social contracts that we just have, like paying for lunch meat. It's kind of a weird concept when you think about the world as a whole, of like how processed lunch and meat gets bought and distributed to people. It's weird. Super weird. Rook's friend's poor car. Yeah, it got pretty scratched up, but it was alright. We're the only animals on Earth that have self-loathing due to this success. Yep. Maybe pandas.
At least the ones in captivity.
Yeah. Just like, well, my life is set and I'm retired now and I'll never want for anything. Guess I'll die. It's like, great.
Yep.
Good job, pandas. You wanna make some babies? Nah. No point.
Not while you watching.
Whoa, perv. Get out of here. But we need pandas. I think I need to take a quick break after this. I think we'll keep going, though. I think we can probably go for a while longer. I need to get a drink. Close the door, because it's starting to get cold. It was actually nice this morning. The sun was out. Now it's getting cold.
It was like almost 70. It was about like 65 yesterday.
Nice.
Here.
How's the rest of the world handling it? Is the cold snap finally gone? He's supposed to have the hand thing. I guess I'll just have him holding it. It's gonna look like he's got like a chip bowl. Hey, I brought the guac. Did you guys slay that dragon yet? I would love to own one of these things, but I don't know what I'd do with it. I just whack it. I'd whack it a whole bunch. I own a lot of instruments that I don't know how to play, just because they're cool.
I've only ever heard you mention ukulele. So.
Yeah, I got a ukulele. I got some ocarinas. I got like a mouth harp. Where is that?
I was gonna say, are they okay ocarinas, or are they like the cheap Legend of Zelda ocarinas?
Let me find out. I mean, they're not like... I think they cost like $40. So like they're not...
Okay.
They're not cheap plastic. They're ceramic, but they're not... They were designed as instruments, not trinkets.
Okay.
I bought them from a music store.
If you paid $40 for an ocarina, that means you basically... That's like the highest class ocarina you could probably get. I think anything about that is like you're wasting your money.
Right. Diet Steve, I still have no idea what you were talking about with the coconuts. So I am. I've been waiting. I've been waiting to try to understand the coconut reference, but maybe it was just inappropriate for YouTube or something.
Coconut. YouTube is on a campaign against coconuts.
Mm-hmm.
But they're lime and coconut.
I have a fired clay ocarina from a nature company that looks like a turtle. Sounds pretty good. Nice. I never quite did figure out how to play my ocarina. I feel like I can play most stuff, but there's a few notes that it just doesn't sound good, so I don't know if it's just not tuned right. Or what. Or if I just don't know how to play it. So Kevin the Necromancer picked it up and played it just fine, and I was like, well, alright, I just don't know what I'm doing with it. But never confirmed that. But that's my suspicion.
I recently wanted to learn how to play the banjo. But not like
Not enough to buy one?
No, like not like Deliverance style of banjo, where you're like using like 3 fingers to play. There's like different styles of playing banjo.
Gotcha. I had to play that one year for school.
A banjo?
My
The dueling banjos.
my instructor was a trombone player, and I was a trombone player, and so he basically made the trombone section learn how to play dueling trombones, and so I had to do that. Me and the first chair guy had to do that part.
Dear Lord.
This one. Wah 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 wah. Ba, 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 ba. Our ocarinas are kind of annoyingly high pitched. A little bit. Skipcat hates it. Like, anytime I start playing it, he'll walk up to me and just like, the fuck are you doing? And like, it's really upset.
I mean, they are like recorders, which you kind of do need a bit of skill to play them well.
Yeah.
Which I know people may make fun of the recorder, like, because it's kind of like what they give out for kids, but it's like, if you have a good quality recorder, know how to play it right, they sound great. Yeah.
I thought about that one time, and I was like, I'm going to learn how to play this, and I found my old one, and like, this thing's a piece of shit. Like, this thing just sounds bad. I don't think anybody can make it sound good. Because you think, like, it's just a wind instrument. You think you'd be able to just blow into it and make it work. Not the case.
It's just way they are. Like, you can't blow too hard or too soft, because if you blow too hard, they just crack. Like, the sound cracks.
Beep. Oh, wait.
It's like peaking a mic.
Yeah. That's a big sword. That might be too big. I feel like there's no reason to have a tip. Just like flat, choppy blade. Or one of these things. Oh, I love these. Let's do that. He looks like he's holding an old school salad spinner. You're right. You're right. That is what it looks like. One of the ones that like you push down on. Just. We could change that. But I think that's what that thing's supposed to look like, right? Pretty close. 2 symbols attached to each other with whackable parts. 2 walks, I guess, not symbols. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna run some ads. I'm gonna get a drink. And grab a snack real quick. And then we will keep drawing stuff. Hang tight, everybody. Hang tight. Okay, you're falling off. Skip Cat has been sitting on a heating pad just for the last month or so. Like, just a heating pad under a blanket. And for some reason he's taken to, like, sitting on it and then putting his butt almost falling off the chair. Just like, I don't know how he's not falling off the chair. He's just like, oh, this is where I want to sit. It's great. Okay, we're back. Here we go. I think I'd go back and read everyone if I may cause him to have tried. Yeah, Atomic, don't worry about it. I got it. Handpan, yes, that's what we're trying to do. I really want to learn how to play the hurdy-gurdy, but they are also damn expensive. Yeah, I wonder if there's any places you could go to that might have one to teach you. Right? Like you could maybe find somebody that has one and then pay them to teach you. That might work. Demonic plasmoid sorcerer with tiefling skeleton inside. We're rolling high today. Oh, except I'm rolling a d20 and we don't have enough, which is good. So I'll roll a d12 next. I guess it doesn't matter. If I don't get it, I just re-roll it, right? That would make sense. A red. A tiefling skeleton. Handpans definitely sound pretty cool. Hurdy-gurdy sound pretty good too. What game was that? It was a pirate game where you could play a hurdy-gurdy. And that became the game. Sea of Thieves, maybe? How do people think that tiefling horns should attach to the skull? Like 5e has a very weird kind of like going from the forehead back. I don't know if I'm not a fan of that. Tendons? Not like the physical connection, like the where. The where and how. Like a ram's? Yeah, what does a goat skull look like? Because like they would definitely need little nubs, right, on the skull, and then the horns would grow out of that, kind of like tendons, screws. I can't get the little horns to stay on the mouse. Have you tried staples? Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
What are we drawing?
An ooze that has a tiefling skeleton inside of it. I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want to put the horns on the skull. And instead I'm just drawing lots of detailed pieces of the skull. you know, the not thing you're not supposed to do. Rhino Tiefling makes me laugh. That's a pretty good idea. Glue. I'm a fan of the usual ones, like the crown of horns or a ridge. Crown of horns or a ridge. I think that is the 5e way, right? Like it basically like comes down to the top of the eye and then goes up and around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of the. Well, 5e in like a 4th edition style.
Okay. I do like the Hellboy style too.
Kinda, yeah. Because in like 3.5 and earlier editions, tieflings basically were ununified in appearance whatsoever. They
Which-
looked like anything.
Yeah, which I think actually makes more sense
Yeah.
because they surely
So-
should be. There's so many different types of outsiders.
And, however, I think the reason they're super popular now is because they do have a more unified set appearance. Because, like, if you compare them to, like, Azamar, like, why are Azamar not as popular? Because
Because they're not edgy.
there's no real description on, like, what they look like.
That's
Like, pretty humans, I guess? Maybe pointed ears, maybe not.
Mohawk or horns. Okay. That actually, I wouldn't even have thought of that. Yeah, I wouldn't thought. I guess I always make them kind of elfish, but
Yeah. There's no, like, set, like, appearance of a Azamar in 5th edition. They're kind of just all over the place, while tieflings will always have at least some type of horn and a tail.
But you think that's directly related to how much people play them?
I
The
think
visual look?
it has contributed to why they became popular in 5th
Gotcha.
edition. Because in 4th edition, is when they got their unified appearance. And in 5th edition, they kept that. And I don't know how popular tieflings were in 3.5.
In the few games I played of 3.5s, there was always a tiefling. So. I don't
Probably
know.
compared to, like, now where you may have a party of, like, over half of them are tieflings.
I always assume people pick tieflings just because they're edgelords, but that could just
Well,
be me.
There's that.
Have you taken into account the edgelordness of it?
I don't really consider that because you could play any character as an edgelord.
Yeah, but it's baked into the tiefling. I am a demon. Blah, blah, blah. Tieflings are just codified because you're edgy, super special, half demon character. Yeah, like it's one of the like the archetype things of it. Ugh. I think popularity is due to player handbook race status. I don't know.
I think this is probably the first time they were ever like part of the core handbook. Because they always were like part of supplements before.
That could be.
It's like tieflings, humans, and like half elves are like the most popular ones. Though that may have changed.
I was going to complain about half elves, but it doesn't matter. Okay, weird question. If you were an ooze that was wearing a tiefling skeleton, would you cover the horns with ooze? It's like one of those, how does a centaur wear pants? But it's like, how does an ooze wear a tiefling skeleton? Is it like this? Or is it like this?
What's the difference? They come up at a quarter.
Just like kind of stuck to it.
I mean, I kind of like both. Like the little cute little blob with the horns in it, like kind of adorable.
Just hanging out. You guys like my skull? Rolling the giant dice tower. Does it like catapult it across the room? Oh, it does. I can't click on that though. I'll have to watch it later. Oh, no, I just clicked on it. Alright. Here we go. That's massive.
Yeah, I saw that before.
I built...
I also saw one that was like a Nerf axe gun.
Yeah.
That like shot out D20s.
Oh, that's pretty funny. I haven't seen that one yet. When I was in college, I welded a D20 about that size. And I only threw it once, and it broke a table. So I didn't throw it after that. One of my colleagues was working with motion tracking, like trying to develop new ways to design motion tracking, and so we were like, oh, can we do a die? And then, because that would be complicated, so I made a whole bunch of really big metal dice so that we could put like motion capture trackers on them. Constellations is what they're called. Cat, welcome in. Hello, hello. I think they would eat the horns, possibly. See, yeah, the bones might not dissolve, but the horns probably would. Didn't think about that. Humans say human people must have a skeleton, so I found one in a tomb. No, I'm human. Oh. I'm not news. I have all the prerequisites. A skeleton? Teeth? Teeth are part of the skeleton. I don't know about that. I've seen skeletons without teeth. They're made out of keratin, like nails in hair. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that at all. Have to go to lunch, back in a few. No problem. What the hell? Yeah, we're, so this suggestion was an ooze that has a tiefling skeleton inside of it. So it's tiefling-shaped gelatinous cube. I think we're about done with it, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Beep-a-doo-boop-boop-boo. Where'd my dice go? 3. A male werebat, cursed human fighter, wearing a blindfold and robes, holding a scythe and a lantern.
Interesting.
If he's wearing a blindfold, why does he need a lantern?
It's a magic lantern.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What do bats look like? That's the question.
All over the place. From cute to what is this?
Should we make a rugby bat? Probably not.
Alright. Are you familiar with the old game show thing called Celebrity Squares?
Kind of. It's like you're playing tic-tac-toe, but with celebrities in the
No,
boxes?
you're like asked questions and I guess the premise is to like say something witty and funny.
Well, but the premise of the
I don't
show, I'm thinking of Hollywood Squares is the one I was thinking of, where it's like 9 people. And then if you want this spot, you have to talk to that person, and then they get asked a question, and then you have to tell whether or not they're right. Go on. Where's your story going?
Yeah, either way, I don't exactly know how it works. I just know that there's a guy named Paul Lynn. He did a lot of voices and characters. He's no longer with us. He was the rat in Charlotte's Web, just to give you an idea of his voice. He gets asked the question, what state was Abraham Lincoln born in? And he pauses and looks up. It's like, well, he was born in a state that we all are. Naked and screaming.
Naked and screaming. Gotcha.
I was like...
But the lantern could secretly be his eyes on how he sees. That would make sense.
Be like the 3 fates from Hercules.
Mm-hmm. Didn't they share an eyeball?
Yes. Which they stole that from the Clash of the Titans movie.
Oh, yeah? I want to make this blindfold more interesting. Bats have huge ears. I don't know how you would get a blindfold on a bat. Nope. Aggie exploded.
Maybe it's like 2 eye patches, like over the eyes.
Cheapest. This one's ears start at its eyeballs. It's just got goggles that are just painted over. Getting Chupacabra vibes? That works. Paul Lynde was the main star on Hollywood Squares. Alright. I thought Whoopi Goldberg was, so maybe I watched it at a different point in time. Or maybe I just...
What's Whoopi Goldberg?
Okay, so the original run in 1966, yeah. And then it ran again in the early 2000s with Whoopi Goldberg. Chupa Capybara.
Glad John knew who I was talking about. I never watched it, but I watched a little documentary on him, and they had talked a lot about his time on Hollywood Squares.
I think I've seen that clip before, so...
Heck, I may have even sent it to you.
Possibly. The Batanthrope. Gotta have like super long wings.
Oh, had to be a rare creature in D&D or Pathfinder. I'll probably go Werebat.
Go Werebat. Interesting choice.
Or Were Crocodile, if that's an option.
I think it is. Weregator.
You like a Spider-Man villain? I guess he's a Spider-Man villain. I could be wrong.
Well, so there's Killer Croc, which is DC. And then there's the Lizard. That's a Spider-Man villain. Who looks a little bit like a crocodile in some iterations. Usually looks more like a lizard, like a iguana, I think.
I know I had like a special like Uno deck of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like a Spider-Man themed Uno deck, and like Lizard was kind of looked like a were crocodile in a trench or in a lab coat.
Yeah, I think I remember what you're talking about. I think I also had that.
What the hell?
Chupacabra. It's a chupacabra.
I'm getting a chemical pellet gun commercial.
Interesting. What do you mean chemical pellet gun? Like it uses CO2?
It looks like you're shooting a paintball at someone, but when it hits the target, it kind of gives a puff of smoke out.
Huh.
Or dust or whatever. But yes, it is a CO2 cartridge.
They've actually come up with some pretty cool stuff to make guns look more realistic for movie scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just essentially like paintball guns that don't shoot anything, or they shoot a small paintball that does poof. So I wonder if that's the same type of technology. But yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff with that. Like, because some of the stuff I was looking at is every time you fired it, it would put a little bit of like smoke or vapor out, and then flash a red LED at the tip, so it looks like it's. It looks really good on camera. It doesn't sound anything like a gun, so when you do it, it's just like meh, 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 meh. But yeah. Love the Super Soakers that were based off old school laser designs. Yeah, those were good too. Oh, he's supposed to have a scythe, but I gave him weird old hands. Weird old bat fingers. But why? I don't know what kind of clothes a werebat would wear. Probably just like
Did
a...
it say robes?
Yeah.
Nice bathrobe.
Just terry cloth fluff all around. You can make his whole body look like terry cloth. That's fine. Should probably be pretty fuzzy.
I was gonna say, do the gargoyle thing. Wings connect together to form a little cape.
Yeah, that was super weird. I liked it. It worked out really well. Do gargoyles have separate wings? I guess they do, yeah.
At least in the TV show they did.
Yeah. Maybe silks to avoid chafing when flying, like a WW1 pilots with their scarves. It could work. Yeah, it was always weird to me that there was one of them had like the arm wings, and then another one just didn't have wings at all and was a dog. It's like, is he as smart as the other gargoyles, or is he a dog? Like, I have to know.
I think he was about as intelligent as a well-trained dog. There's also the one that had the weird, like, almost not even manta ray wings, but like, they connected to the arms and legs.
Yeah, I think that's what Atomic's talking about with Lexington. I think that was Lexington. Was it?
It may be Lexington.
The one that looks like a pterodactyl?
Yeah, Lexington was the little nerdy one. Kind of a olive green color.
Yeah. What a good show. Super weird. Like, where did that show come from? People are like, hey, you know what? Ninja Turtles is pretty popular. What about Gargoyles?
It's probably where it came from.
Was that a Disney show?
Yes.
Okay. What's Riker doing right now? I remember reading something about like where that show kicked off from. Can't remember if it was because of the Hunchbacks of Notre Dame or there was some weird thing that made people like, yeah, gargoyles.
Well, the thing is, apparently, a lot of the writers who were on the team for it, because there was no single creator of it, but just a group of people.
Thanks, Dad. Steve. We'll
A
catch
lot
you
of
later.
them- A lot of them worked on the Batman animated series,
Gotcha.
so
More gothic stuff.
yep.
There was a scene that I think kind of broke us when we were watching Batman and Robin. And it's where they're chasing Mr. Freeze like over buildings and like down all the huge gothic statues. And they like jump onto the top of this roof and destroy the Batmobile. And that's it. They just... Where are they going? They're just on the top of a building now. Like, what was the plan? Super weird. Is the dog like their version of a chimpanzee? So it's just like a different species of gargoyle. Very different. Oh man, I'm so tired. It's only 2 o'clock though. Dang. Let's do one more. Let's do at least one more. I think we can do more. The next few might have to be kind of silly. 6. Yak Minotaur Barbarian Brawler Dude.
Yeah.
A prayer flag? What is a prayer flag?
Thing from Buddhism.
Oh. I don't know what that looks like. I also don't know what a yak looks like. Oh my god, why is this on this playlist? There we go. I'm gonna have to channel my World of Warcraft mounts. Yak intensifies. That's pretty funny. Kinetic projectiles. All projectiles are kinetic. What the shit? Does it shoot like pepper balls?
Yeah.
Okay. No background check permit required. Legal in all 50 states. Huh? All right, then. Hashtag not sponsored. But apparently sponsored if they're running ads. You know what? I'm not mad. It's just weird.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm not really the person for you to be advertising that stuff towards.
I mean, you could be.
I mean, sure.
I feel like those probably get used more on drunken frat boys than on home invaders.
Yeah.
And I say that from experience with tasers. Like, you write non-lethal on something, someone's probably gonna get shot with it.
But also, I'm kind of just wondering, how do you like load it without getting some of the pepper stuff on your own hands?
Good question. Good question. I want this to look like a yak, but I want to be able to draw the body. I guess Tarn's figured it out. We've never talked about Tarns in WoW, but like essentially their spines go like this. It's really creepy. I always like the idea that like big brawly minotaurs just have tiny, tiny hands. Just like Donald Trump. I keep getting calls from the Idaho Democratic Party because last time I lived in Idaho, I voted Democrat. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. Doesn't matter. It's been a long time. But they keep calling me like, hey, do you want to help us? And I'm like, I don't even live there anymore. What are you doing? I've not been registered to vote in Idaho for like 10 years. Get your shit together, people. Ah, okay. That's a pretty good yak, man.
Above it.
Yeah. Try to figure out what non-kinetic projectiles would be. That's like saying metallic metal. Yeah, it would be lasers. Is what it would be. That's the difference. I hate most app games ads. I'm more inclined to play a game that doesn't run stupid ads. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think they are like
using all the terms to basically describe a gun without actually describing a gun.
Yeah, I would bet that is the case.
Because it says a non-lethal kinetic projectile launcher. A Nerf gun. Or paintball gun.
Yeah, I don't know what a non-kinetic projectile would be. That's not a laser gun. There must be a classification for it, or they're just using buzzwords, as you're suggesting. He said he's going to play the mandolin. What is a mandolin? That's a guitar type thing.
Mandolin?
Yeah. Mandolin's like a
little tiny short thing.
is it like a lute?
I mean, kinda. I mean, all things are. Guitars are lutes.
Is this a mandolin? Because I have a restaurant style mandolin, which is one of these things that do the choppy choppy. In 2020, I received 5 mail-in ballots. I could have voted for president 5 times. Well, you could have. Them mailing you a ballot is not the same as you voting, so be careful. Danger zone! Don't forget to
Fill
vote.
one, shred the others.
I think you're supposed to do something with those if you receive extra ballots. I can't remember, though. That's a trap. That's what that is.
Yep. Like, see, they're cheating.
I don't understand. We just sent them 15 ballots. We didn't tell them to vote 15 times. It says right here, vote 15 times.
But yeah, no. Restaurant mandolin, the little, like, slicer thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
I think it's named after the object.
Ow. They spelled. They're not spelled the same. Well, sort of. They're mostly spelled the same. However, a mandolin slicer has an E at the end.
Okay. Instrument in the lute family and generally plucked with a pick. Got it. Tiny lute.
Yep. Think Italian music or bluegrass.
I have no idea what Italian music sounds like.
Did you ever watch The Godfather?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yep. The intro song.
I worked at an Italian restaurant for 4 years. They basically only played Frank Sinatra. That was it.
Oh.
That was all they played.
Yeah, like the theme of the Godfather movies is like a mandolin.
Okay. Spaghetti Western. They just checked that stringed instruments are based on the number of strings and how they are tuned. I mean, you can have a baritone ukulele or an alto ukulele. Like that's pretty standard. But like they're all ukuleles.
The baritone ukulele just a guitar.
You think so, but no, it's not. It's
I imagine it's probably more or less like close to the size of like a kid's guitar.
Yeah, yeah. Key guitars are actually still pretty big, but no, a bass ukulele is just a slightly bigger ukulele. Like it's really hard to tell unless you have played them a lot. It's funny.
Yeah.
All right, let's do one silly one. Let's do one like just super silly one, and then we'll call it an angry kobold fighter with a lock and load from Team Fortress 2. It's just like a grenade launcher, right? I actually had to look that up because I was like, what am I doing? So I looked that up the other day. Kobold with a grenade launcher.
That seems pretty silly.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think it's a double-barreled 203. If that makes sense to anybody. Which is stupid. But also kind of funny.
Your recoilless rifles.
There's a guy on YouTube that I like to watch who just talks about like old historic guns and stuff. And he was talking about the different weapons that like in sci-fi that could exist. And one of them was like Judge Dredd's gun. And he's like, we could absolutely have recoilless like bullets that have their own projectile system inside of it. It's just why? Like the only way you would need that. They had them in Expanse too, because like if you had a regular gun out in space that could fire, it would launch you backwards. So their guns all like spit the bullets out with no velocity, and then the bullets would shoot. Little tiny torpedo guns. It's kind of a fun idea. Oh. I gotta go take a nap or something. I'm out. Out of energy. Done run out. Got a lot of stuff I gotta do today too, so it's probably a good idea. Take a little break. Get back to work. Oh no, what have I done? Okie dokie. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out today. Thanks for the suggestions. Hope we had some good ones. I'm gonna try to get another YouTube short out this weekend, and then hopefully a new video next week. So I think it'll be fun. And then with that, the Patreon stickers will go out here, I believe, 2 weeks. 2 weeks or so? Yeah, depending on when the next stickers come in. We'll do that. And then, yeah, next month, I think we're going to try to figure out a new process to work with for developing just stuff. Like, we've been making lots of stickers for the Patreons, and honestly, we don't have that many Patreons in the stickers tier, so it's like, I don't know, I want to add something else to that. I want to do something else. So we might work on, like, cards or something, but we'll figure that out. We're just going to play around with it, have some different ideas. Pineapple folk? I have to go to my future request, but why? What does that even mean? Just wanted, like, SpongeBob's house as a playable race. Yeah, that's all I have. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thanks again for all your support, hanging out in chat, talking in chat. Like, comment, subscribe on your favorite video over the weekend, and yeah, we'll catch you next week. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your desk at the table. See everybody later. Bye.